Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to build a 7-figure business with just $1,000. And I'm going to break down every single step. So make sure to stay till the very end of the video so you can see how to do this and you don't miss anything. Let's start from the top. Okay. First 2 weeks, this is in the setup phase. All right. So first thing that you're going to do is you're going to file an LLC. Right. One website that I've used, I have no affiliation with, but I wish I did because I recommend them to everybody, is Inkfile, which is now called Busy. Right. You can set up an LLC in any state in about 3 to 5 days. Some of the best states that I typically recommend, Nevada is fantastic. Delaware is fantastic. Texas is great. And there's a few other ones, but make sure you do your research on this one. You can also search on ChatGPT, find out quick answers for what serves your business best. If you are an individual owner and you expect to profit over $50,000, make sure to file an S corporation, where you will pay yourself a fair salary as the CEO, but on the dividends of the business, you will not pay payroll taxes or self-employment taxes. Self-employment taxes, last time I checked, was 12.5%, extremely high. In 1 year, my second year in business, it was a first year business. I was so pissed off because I filed the S Corp right in December and my accountant didn't do it in time and ended up costing me like an extra 30 grand or something in taxes. Do not be Grant first year in business. That's why I'm making this video. Okay, number 2, you need to go open a bank account. Put on a blazer, look sharp, schedule an appointment with JP Morgan, with Chase, with Bank of America, whatever bank that you choose, and go open a business checking account and savings account. They will also potentially give you the opportunity to open up a business credit card. I hope you have great credit. It's very important to do that. So you might as well do that now. It's important to give them a very bullish answer on what you expect your revenue to be. They will give you more favorable lines of credit. They'll be nicer to you. They will give you more offers. Extremely important, but you want to do this within, you get the S Corp. Let's say you get it today. Same day, you're going to get the bank set up. Okay, next is payment processor. This is going to depend on what type of business you are. For example, my first business was residential solar company. We did not get paid by a payment processor. We literally got an ACH from the finance company or the installer. But if you are an e-commerce business, if you're a coaching business, if you have any form of consulting, you're a dental office, anything like this, you're likely going to need a payment processor unless you're billing, insurance companies, things like that. So you're going to have to get that set up. I use Stripe. Square is another one I've used before. PayPal, a little bit different, but set this up. You can also set up a payment processor with your bank, depending on which one, but make sure that they can handle all different types of transactions, all right? Because some of them are things like you have to only send an invoice and things like that. Next is create a logo. I recommend using Luca. There's other ones. You could hire someone on Fiverr or pay some expensive professional to build it. I've built multiple companies with the logos on Luca, and it looks like incredible. And you can do it within about 10 minutes. You don't need any graphic design experience. They'll also show you how you can create t-shirts, business cards, all different types of logos. It's extremely cheap and you can scale with it. Next is creating a website. Okay, I recommend doing this on Wix, Squarespace, or WordPress. My first couple of companies, I literally made the website myself. It took me 3 to 5 days. Some of them took about a week, but it's definitely a way to do it. I've also had other people that I actually hired on Upwork or Fiverr that specialize in it. I could look at all their past websites and I had them build it out exactly to my specifics. All right, now early on, it depends. If you're a consumer product and you're selling e-commerce, that's a little bit different. But if you're mainly sales focused, my thing is just get the damn website up. You can fix it. You can hire someone better. We just want people to be able to Google you and say, look, you're legit. Okay, so start with that. Next is set up any needed partnerships or contractors. This is important. The purpose of this is to get you to the point where you're able to start taking transactions. A lot of people assume you need all of this extra money. For example, myself in the solar business, instead of me hiring all this installation crew, spending all this money on materials, instead early on what I did is I partnered with contractors or EPCs, installers, who had all of that for me. They handled all the supply chain. They handled all the construction workers because I'm doing a slower deal flow early on before I hired a big sales team and scale. So what I did is I set up 10 different partnerships with 10 different meetings with a bunch of different potential partners and EPC firms, partnered with 2 or 3 of them, and then started there. So then I had everything in place as soon as that partnership was done to essentially start selling. Okay. Any licensing. Okay. Each industry is different. You can find out the answer to this by literally using ChatGPT. Say, this is the state I'm in. This is the industry I'm starting. This is the business I'm getting into. What license do I need? You can also call a lawyer. Inkfile and Busy does provide a lot of the licensing that you need and shows you how to do it. It's extra, but it may be worth it. So make sure you don't mess up on this. Okay, software. I'm not obsessed. It depends on the industry, but I am a firm believer on getting strangers to pay you makes you a business, not flashy software. This depends on each industry. The newest business I started, the media business, I had CRMs, I had automations, I had everything set up. But that was also after I had ran a successful business for 3-4 years. So I had more capital up front. I was okay waiting an extra week and a half. This depends. The thing that you're probably going to need the most is DocuSign and all the legal documents to go in, like contracts, things like that, for the customer to sign. So when you're closing a deal, it's seamless. Okay. If you are familiar with building CRMs, or you have someone who can, or if you want to simply hire someone off of Fiverr or Upwork to do it for you, that is a great way, which I've also done as well. There's a couple different ones. I can tell you my favorite this far has been Go High Level, just because it's cheaper. You can set it up quicker. There's a lot of people that have can set up and build it in a pretty quick rate, and it can get you going at a much faster rate than going with Salesforce. It's going to be really, really expensive, and it's going to take a lot of software development, and you can get to it. Hey guys, if you're an entrepreneur, business person, or you just want to grow as an individual, I just started a private business community that has over 200 different entrepreneurs from a multitude of different industries. We have weekly live calls with Q&As. We have over 20 different master classes that break down sales, marketing, finance, operations, branding, social media, you name it, as well as guest speakers and the ability to network and grow your career. If you want to have a massive, massive year, this is every single little thing that I've learned over building an 8-figure business, building a massive following on social media, and working with entrepreneurs all over the world. If you guys would like to join, I want to give it to you for free for 7 days just for listening to this podcast. Click the link below and get set up. Look forward to seeing you guys there. The goal here, all right, I'm going to write this down at the bottom. Speed, okay? No cute shit. This is the most important thing. No cute shit. Stop trying to do all this flashy stuff that they taught us in business school and your one friend, second cousin, brother. No. You need strangers to pay you money. That is what a business is, okay? Nothing irritates me more or tells me that someone is not going to make it in business when they're doing all this cute strategy, and I talk to them the next month. They're like, oh, we're still doing this. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? Third month. No, we're waiting on that. I'm like, what in the hell are you waiting on? You should have contacted 3,000 potential customers already, and you're worried about CRMs when nobody even wants to pay you a damn dollar. Speed is the key. Get to market. You can improve all this and make it the most beautiful thing ever when what? You're making money. Okay. Week 2 to 6, attack the market. Remember, this video is assuming that we only have $1,000 or less to start. $1,000 can get you an LLC. Bank account's free to open. Payment processor doesn't cost any money to open. This costs $50-$60. Website you could build on your own. I mean, I did it, and I'm not an expert in that. For less than $100. Contracting, set up partnership doesn't cost money. Licensing typically can be relatively cheap. You may not even need some because you can leverage the partners, installers, or contractors. So you're already not even over $1,000. Let's get to attack the market. So instead of building and buying all of this infrastructure and leads and everything, if you're doing it for very cheap, and this is what I did early on for my first business, you need to literally, like a psychopath, contact 350 cold people per day. LinkedIn, door-to-door, cold calling, social media, you name it. You talk to 350 people a day. You refine your pitch, you refine your outreach, and I'll do more trainings on this as well. You will set around 1%. Okay, you're going to get cussed out more than you have in the last 10 years of your life. You're going to be rejected more times than most people get rejected in 10 years of their life. But you will get appointments, and eventually they will turn to deals. Okay, assuming a 1% rate of setting, you'll set 2 to 4 appointments per day. You want to close about 25% or higher than this, and you want to pitch or have a show rate, meaning after you set the appointment, the customer shows up at 40%. Now, this is a whole different training that I will have at some point, but do not set appointments for 5 days, a week, 2 weeks out. If you do, you are delusional and you will lose. I'm extremely clear. You will not make it. I have a policy in all of my companies, same day or next day. That's it. If they request 2 days out, we're immediately assuming that they are not interested. We're re-impulsing, and we're resetting for same day or next day. Okay, that is so important because I don't want your pitch percentage to be in the gutter at 15% and you're wasting all that energy, time, and you're not making the damn money, which is the point of running a business. Okay, next is keep rate, right? When you sign people up, you will have cancels. I hate even saying that word to you out loud. It makes me shake. It makes me feel sick. I don't like it, but it's a part of life, right? A 75% keep rate is fantastic. If you can get it higher, God love you, all right? But keep it to 75%. You close 10 deals, you're keeping 7.5, okay? Next is track all your data. You do not need to be Einstein, doing all this flashy stuff, spending all this money. You need to get strangers to pay you for stuff. That's what a business is. We're going to do all that cute stuff later when we make money. Right now, we don't have any money. We only got $1,000 and we just spend it all here, so we're broke. So we need to close deals, contact 350 people per day, pitch 40% of the ones that are set, close 25%, and keep 75% of the deals that we do close. Track your data, right? If you have a simple CRM, you can use it there, or you can simply track it with an Excel spreadsheet. When do you update this? At night. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Do not do admin work in the day. Nothing pisses me off more when I'm working with entrepreneurs or people even in my companies or any friends that I have that start company when they're doing all this admin cute BS that ain't making the company money. All it does is it gives your ego a feeling like you're running this company and you're making progress and it's all this cute bullshit. No, it is wasting time. You do all of your admin work because it's just you're broke, and you're trying to scale from scratch at night, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 in the morning. That is when you're doing all this stuff. And if you're listening to this and I'm making you shake, I'm doing it for a reason because this whole point of the video is to convince you why you should not start a company. Because if you can't get through listening to this company without being fired up, be like, okay, I can handle this, then I am saving you a lot of time and misery. But if you watch this and you're like, damn, I needed to hear that. That just helped me. I will save you years of misery and I'll show you how to be a millionaire. Okay. The reason why I'm saying this is because I experienced this myself. That's why I'm being direct with you, because this is what you need to hear, not some BS motivational message. Okay. Track your data. You know how many contacts that you go to per day, how many answer, how many appointments set, how many you close. That's simple. And then how many keep. Okay. Next, how to pay yourself. Pay yourself a commission, right? If you pay yourself all the profit, that's fine. It's going to make you feel good. But the problem is you're not going to have any money to scale, okay? Set yourself a base commission. This could be 15 to 20% of profit. It just depends. Pay yourself that, live off of that, put the other in a savings account because we're going to be using it to scale. Okay, know your numbers to scale. You have to start. I just built a video on this recently, so I just posted it. Make sure to check that out, and it will give you insight. I'll put in the link below. But you need to know businesses' key metrics to scale. What are the conversions? What are the finances? What's the CAC to LTV? What are all the necessary metrics for your business? For each industry, it is going to be different. All right, let's go to the back. Okay, weeks 6 through 10. Number 1, you're going to start buying leads, okay? We've already opened a small credit card. This is when you're going to want to open up a bigger line of credit so you can buy more leads. You want to be so dialed in that you are not wasting money on leads that suck. Now, in some form, all leads suck, right? So you got to know what the typical set rate is for these. You need to get those things right, but you need to dial in and figure out your customer acquisition to LTV. Next, you're going to hire an accountant firm. Grant, why didn't we do that in the first one? Because nobody was paying you. You didn't have $1,000. Why do we need a fancy accounting firm? Start making some damn money. Then we're going to hire an accountant firm. They're going to do the bookkeeping. They're going to handle the payroll. That's a whole nother process. Okay. Put up job board ads. I recommend Indeed. It depends. LinkedIn, people are a little bit too professional, cookie cutter. They're very NPC-like. If you want salespeople, you want people that are ready to work, go to Indeed. You can choose whatever you like, just my experience. Create new hire contract. This is so damn important. Non-solicitation, non-disclosure agreements, keeping your trade secrets This is like having and hiring employees is like getting married. I feel like I've gone through 200 marriages. A lot of them have ended amazing and a lot of them have ended horrible. And the only reason that is the case, and the reason I was protected and my company was protected, because I had great contracts in place. So if you hire the wrong person, they do the wrong thing, you are not liable and you're protected. Okay. You can find this, hire a lawyer, pay about $1,000, $1,500 to make it, or you can find templates on LegalZoom, have a lawyer look at it, or build something out more fancy later. But I recommend getting this in place and it's good. Next, build SOPs. Remember, your people aren't hired yet. You need to have exact sales scripts for what to say, when to say it. When you jump, how high do you jump? When they tell you no, what do you say? SOPs for future admin, right? You got to figure out all the different moving parts of the administrative part of your business because we want to delegate that first. Okay, hire a virtual assistant. I recommend a company called We Clone You. I have no affiliation. I've just hired like 7 VAs from there. They're only as cheap as $4 to $5. And because of the currency exchange, it's worth more to them in their country. They're fantastic. Obviously, you still got to go through a vet, hire, interview, and find good fits. You're still going to have people quit, but I can tell you from my experience, they work very hard and they're fantastic. Okay. Then you're going to identify every single task that you do on a daily basis, total the hours, and delegate all of that task to them. Okay. Then you're going to hire 2 to 3 sales reps, and every appointment those 300 appointments, they're going to be sitting there calling and setting appointments with you. And they're going to every single appointment that you set, and you're going to everyone that they set. The goal here is get wins early. If they do not see wins early, they will quit on you and they will never talk to you again, and you're going to feel horrible. And they're going to do this even if you do everything the right way. So you want to make sure you get wins early, okay? Weeks 10 to 14, you're going to spend 50% less time in the field as a CEO. Now, this isn't to go to the country club and golf at freaking 2 o'clock and post steak dinners and make all your set. No, don't do any of that. That 50% is going to growing the business, all right? So we're going to do a couple of things. One, we're going to go back to JP Morgan or Chase. We're going to show them all of our new revenue. They're going to go, wow, this person's been listening to Grant Mitt. And you're going to go out and you're going to get a bigger line of credit so you can buy more leads and scale your company. You're then going to focus on hiring 3 to 5 more sales reps, because now these 2 to 3 other reps are now moving. They have systems in place. They're closing. They don't need you every 5 seconds. Then you're going to hire another virtual assistant instead of a project manager to manage all of your projects and all the back-end operation. At this point, you've been doing this the entire time. This will save you 20 to 35 hours a week, right? Then you're going to identify your best sales leader. Sometimes just because they're number 1 in sales doesn't make them a good manager. And you're going to promote them to be a team lead and to ultimately train your sales reps every day. You jump in about once a week. All right. Now, weeks 14 through 18. CEO is now out of sales. Congratulations. Now, does this mean you do nothing? No, this means you focus on more high leverage tasks. Okay. You're going to hire a regional sales manager to run the sales team, manage all the sales. 2, you're going to hire a project manager or operations manager to handle the back end that will oversee the VAs, the systems, CRMs, operational items, projects, fulfillment, whatever the heck it is. They want to be like the barrier, so they handle all the problems and only the escalated ones get to you. Then you're going to zoom out and look at your entire business like a video game or a computer. Look at, okay, this is what happens here. Okay, what happens when they do this? We're having customer complaints in this. What is causing that? We're having deals fall off here. Why is that happening? Okay, what's going on with this installer? What's going on with this contractor? What's going on with this market? And you're starting to move slower, gain your creativity and energy back, and start focusing on building the business, not operating the business. Okay, then you are going to be more focused on leading leaders. I know it's a small team here, but you want to focus on the operations head and the regional sales manager. You need to be like this, but still have a great relationship with everyone. Team builders, showing your face, caring. The little things are going to really, really matter because you want everyone to have a collective mission. Okay. And then last, manage leadership. Vision. Okay. So we're focusing on growth, knowing your numbers, and increasing and expanding the infrastructure is going to be really, really important here. You want to ask yourself the right question. Okay. I'll put it right here. Let's say you get to the trajectory to get $1 million. Okay. So let's say you get where it's like, okay, you're doing 83 grand a month, right? So you want to go, how do I go from 1 million to 10 million? Okay. So now when you get to this point, your mind is not focused on DocuSign, customer escalations, what happened at the sales appointment at 2 o'clock. Do not let bullshit distract you here, okay? You're unbelievably focused on making sure your RSM and the head of ops is focused, trained, developed, and you have a direct line. So they handle all that BS. You are like, how do I go to 10 million? How many sales reps do I need? How much money do I need to spend a month? Who do we need to hire? What do we need to delegate? What markets do we need to get to? All of those things are the most important question marks that you need to be thinking about. I can't tell you. I know CEOs that are running $5-10 million business. I sit down and work with them and I'm like, holy shit, we can double your business in like freaking 4 or 5 months. You're just spending 30 hours a week on a bunch of BS that doesn't actually get you to whatever your target is. So this is when you pull yourself out of all the horse blinder small problems and you think bigger. And then you only solve that problem. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, put on the notifications so you catch all of this, and make sure to check out the Grant Mitt podcast for more business stuff. And if you're a business owner that is looking to scale, I started a private business community that's discounted for the first 500 members. Click the link below to register for that. And if you're looking to scale your business, there's a link below for grantmittcoaching.com. You can inquire to work with me one-on-one. Hope you guys have an incredible week. Keep crushing. I'm always rooting for you. Thanks, guys.